many cows you tell me you guys are milking right now?
Right now we're kind of down in numbers. I think we're about 340, 350.
Yep.
But then we're going to be calving about 50 head a month for the next 5 months.
So busy winter coming up.
If anybody wants to come around and like baby calves, everybody's more than welcome to come. So, address will be in the link below.
What's I don't think we covered this, but what's the name of the family farm? Where are we at here?
This is Dall Dairy.
Yeah.
So it's been in the family farm as far as we know since 1928, when we had some stock in the local creamery in town. And before that, we're not really sure.
Yeah.
You know, great grandpa wasn't telling stories, so we just know we've been milking cows here since 1928 and every day since.
Right.
So we've been doing it for a while.
That's great.
We almost got it figured out. Some days we don't.
You're getting ready to chop a little silage?
Yeah. We're getting ready to finish up one of our last bags of the year, so
right.
Getting ready to get rock and roll for the day.
Good deal. How much silage have you put up this year?
We're going to put up about, I'd say, between 7,000 and 8,000 tons.
Right. As a seedsman, I always, when I go to sell seed on the farm and I know somebody's bagging, that's a treat for me, because I know that they can take my Master's Choice silage, they can isolate it, and I know that they can tell what's going to happen goes in the ration, instead of it going all in an upright or in a pit, and so it's all mixed together. But it lets them, really gives them flexibility, like you say, and really gives them flexibility with their ration. So
yeah. Oh, it definitely excites me too. We've been doing that a lot, where we try to isolate a hybrid as best as possible. As soon as we're done opening the fields, the rest of the bags are isolated, so we know what variety, what moisture, and then to correct the ration, we can do as we need. And it is a huge benefit to the cow. The consistency is key with
well, and you know, and when you're trying new hybrids on the farm, that's the only way you're going to really find out how do they work. You know, so we're obviously going to find out, do they yield, are they agronomically strong, but until we isolate those in a ration and see how they're going to feed, we really don't know, is it better or worse than what we've been doing.
Exactly.
So it's good all the way around for the farm.
Yeah, it definitely makes a big difference, and it definitely gives you a lot more options as far as feeding and what you need to do on the farm. So
we're kind of waiting on the dew to dry off, but we're just about ready to roll, right?
Yeah, we're probably 45 minutes away from going out there and getting our first couple loads and getting it wound down, trying to get the rest of the cattle fed and get the babies taken care of. And as soon as that time will be go time, we'll be hooking and dropping, pulling wagons in the yard, and everything will be rocking and rolling, hopefully going smooth.
Let's take a look at some of the ear moisture here and see what we're looking like. But so one of the things that we always tell guys as an indicator is keep an eye on your milk line. So it's really important with silage harvest that we don't get our grain too dry, because if we get it too dry, we don't get good fermentation and we don't get good breakdown of that proline that encapsulates the starch. So you can see here pretty defined milk line. We're really close to that 50% mark, which is an indicator that we are about that ideal silage moisture.
Yeah. Just whenever I'm going to producers and they're asking me, you know, where do you think the milk line's at and we ought to be chopping, I always just take the kernel and just crush it a little bit, and then the milk line are usually crushed. So like you said, we're about 50% milk line, so he's about right. We're 50% to 3/4, so it's time to get in the field and get to chopping. And always remember, if stock moisture is higher or lower, you gotta take that into account too. So always check your milk line, and always try to get a Coster test on it every day.
Yeah, and a lot of these hybrids, like we're looking here at 6751. It's a big, tall hybrid and has really nice plant health and stay green. So it'll fool you. A lot of times you drive down the road and you see, well, I still got a lot of green plants out there. Well, if you're not careful, your ear moisture may be a little bit ahead of the way that plant looks.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we're chopping silage and it's ideal moisture, but we still got a lot of green in the plant. So make sure you're checking your ear moisture and sampling that every chance you get to make sure that that you're not missing the window. Looks like we got one wagon filled, working on number 2. So we're just about ready to start bagging, right?
Yep. Yeah. Start ready bagging through the other end of the process.
Good deal. Clinton, we talked earlier, you guys have a business, Highline Ag Incorporated, where you guys do some of this commercially. So you are our expert on bagging silage. So I want to pick your brain a little bit kind of on the process here. How long are the bags that you're running right now?
The bags we're running right now are 12 by 300. And we go anywhere from 150s all the way up to 500-foot long bags.
So one of these bags, typically how much silage are you putting up in one of those?
In each one of these bags, about 600 tons.
So when we look at these bags, or whether we're looking at that or bunker covers or anything, it's always the white on black plastic. And I know there are reasons specifically for that. You want to talk about that a little bit, just kind of the way that plastic functions?
Yeah, well, all plastics, they're made in mills, and that pertains to the thickness of it, and it's made in layers. So the first layer is white. That kind of it bounces the heat off it. You don't want overly hot. Doing that. Then you got your UV layers that protects against sunlight and degradation of the plastic for that. Then you also have your puncture resistance layers, and then you got your stretch layers, which allows the silage to be packed in there without it, popping and tearing the bag.
With that plastic, these bags are going to sit here obviously for several months, maybe a year at a time. So that plastic's, first of all, you got to protect that silage there and make sure that your fermentation process is protected. But you got to have a durable plastic that's gonna hold up until it's time to come out of the bag and go to the barn.
Yeah, absolutely. This piece of plastic I actually just cut off a bag that's 2 years old, so you can see it holds up. And then this bag's got corn silage in now, so it's going to hold up. It's going to stretch. It's going to resist punctures. You want to use a high quality brand of plastic to protect your investment in the feed.
If you guys are running one of these, say we got a 300 foot long bag here, how long does it take to fill that bag on average?
On average, with using the system we're doing with the 3-year-old pull type chopper and the quick hitches, we can fill one in about 9 hours.
Yeah.
And that's only using 3 guys.
Right.
Yeah, for about 9 hours, you're going to see a wagon every probably 6 minutes.
Right.
So it's continuous. It's eat on the run. It's everything on the go.
Right. Yeah. Seems to be working great.
Yeah.
All right, Clinton, we're just kind of wrapping things up here today. We had an opportunity to see silage harvest happening in the field, bagging. We got a full tour of the farm, your calf barn here. Great glimpse for us, and it's good for all of our staff to get out, get on the farms, make sure we stay in touch with how our products are being utilized. We appreciate you taking the time, appreciate the work you're doing as a dealer here for Master's Choice, but appreciate you taking the time and letting us get in your way all morning this morning. But it's been really good, so I'm anxious to get back and kind of get all this put together. But there again, we appreciate it very much.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming out anytime, guys. We could probably rub beards.
I don't know if that's any better. All right, we're good.